All right, y'all. We back. We back. This is Dynasty. Dynasty the podcast. This is the show. We live. We on YouTube. I just want to say thank you to all. I just want to say I'm grateful and I'm thankful for being able to speak. Just like waking up, being strong enough to be able to like get here and prepare for the show and to prepare to like give you real information on all things going on in the world, politics, news, the community. Just we asking questions right now and we collecting information right now. Then we got to come up with a solution. So that's all we doing right now. I'm not in the stage of elder. I don't have grandchildren yet, so I have to still go. I ain't really being in these people's face, but I'm actually speaking up for my generation and the children underneath me. And I gotta protect my mother, because like I said, my father was attacked spiritually and mentally when he was alive. He wasn't down about it. It's just the way, being who you are in this world, these people want to take from somebody that's powerful, and that's all it was. And that's just my example. I'm appreciative of all my opportunities, and we're gonna move on. This Mother Day is tomorrow. I don't really celebrate holidays. I'm not against nobody that celebrates holidays. I enjoyed my Christmas and Thanksgivings when I was younger. I had the best time doing those things, but I know what's important. I know what kind of selling out goes into that if you feed into it too much. I think my family has transformed into just making it another day and being able to spend time with family and being able to travel a little bit throughout. We're not too far away, but we're not too close together as well. So it's all good. It's all love one of them days. I'm definitely not celebrating trick or treat day and Easter day and all that. A lot of stuff goes on with I could talk about that another day. But yeah, just being appreciative. I'm appreciative of my mom. I'm thankful for the person I have that birthed me. She's one of the greatest people in this world. She did a lot for me, just raising me and having me with the mental capacity to grow every day still, and not have an understanding that you're not always right, but you have to you have the ability to speak, and you have the ability to tell the truth, and you have the ability to go the right way, and you have the ability to choose. So I'm just appreciative of her instilling that in me and putting people around me to make me, strong and not, be on the weak side of history, and have, just keep going and continuing on, and enjoying it while you going through any trials you may be going, any tribulation, whatever it may be. So also my grandmother, unfortunately, one of my grandmothers ascended already, and my great grandmothers as well. So my grandmother, she's a mother as well, and I'm just thankful for the tree that I come from, and I gotta make sure as the man, you gotta work, in the proper way to gain the resources to protect correctly. So that's all I'm working on. That's all I'm gonna continue. I'm not over the hill as far as my youthfulness, so I'm appreciative of that, and I have to continue to. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm gonna continue to go in the direction that I do want to be in. So that's all. And my great aunts, my aunts, and they all mothers. Happy Mother's Day early. I'm not gonna do a show tomorrow, but I'm doing one today, so we're gonna do that early. And like I said, today we got a nice show. I'm gonna spin on some stuff about just it's funny, like the power of the tongue is a great thing. So we're gonna spit on that, and we gonna when I say spit, I mean speak on, and when I say spit, meaning rap. Like I like hip hop, so I haven't been talking about it. So I'm just being funny, giving y'all a little giving y'all some slang. I'm just being funny about it. And the sports community, I mean the sports and the importance of community. That's all. The stuff we've been speaking on this whole past week and what we started on is gonna be basically what the show gonna be about. We're not go, it's rounding off to where I want to be speaking on. The more, I haven't like I said, I've been around long enough for me to start traveling, and that's why I'm speaking on just like growth and like what's going on and what I'm doing in life, and then trying to build off. Hopefully I could get people. I'll play you clips. I could get some real people to come in and speak or give me their site and give you their version of what they said, or just go from there. And we're gonna start off. We're gonna talk political first. And I always love talk. I have to talk about the real before I get to the fun, and it all of it is hand in hand. All these people see each other in these little when they go to the wars, they all date each other. It's all hand in hand. So I'm just start with the truth. I mean the seriousness of the state of our just United States. That's North America basically. Like like I said, they put tariffs on Canada, so I don't know if they together or not. I don't really have no understanding. I don't know if they took the tariffs down. I don't know how fast they do that. So all that stuff kind of funny to me. You can't text nobody and we in the same continent and then every other continent looking at us sideways. So that junk's still baffling to me. And that's how I look at it. Now, going on with the school. Okay, this whole week I've been talking about. Okay, it was a virtual meeting in Broward County. Now, I think it's funny because I know them. I haven't really. I was there. When I was me and the mother of my child. We had a child we was dating. I was there all the time. She stayed in Broward. I stayed in Punch, but I was down there for a good year and a half. I was over there all the time, and I had a lot of ties with the players I coached and being in that area. And it's not too far from where when I first moved to South Florida, and my mom moved to Broward first before she moved to Palm Beach. So it wasn't like I was a fish out of water there, but she was from there. She's from there, and I laugh because I'm on these people. Remember the last time I spoke on these when I did the last virtual, they wouldn't let me go like the visual part of it. I was only on the phone. And I'm listening, and I'm like, I couldn't speak. They muted me. I unmuted myself. All kind of, weirdo, voodoo, whatever the fake authority over there. They want to keep control and keep stealing. It's gonna be cut short. And like I said, the sheriff, the fake sheriff, and the fake police officer, the crooked, whatever they got going on over there, they better get their mind right. Because like I said, they canceled. This ain't Palm Beach they've been out of here like. They've been there so much since I've been, just like I said, I could speak on something, but I know how to articulate without I'm not going against a country where I have so many ties. I'm just going against the people that continue to think they could get over on me or could get over on my family. So it's like I have to keep these people in check. I have to put this in public platform. All these sucker sellouts in the political world, I don't have the resources they do. They've been selling out since the country's been formed. So unfortunately, I have to go about it this way. But unfortunately, they did make several agreements with the people that are my ancestors, and they still want to treat me terribly, and they still want to act like they're not supposed to give us what we want. And also, I'll talk about that more in the in this thing. I could get to that point where I want to sound like I'm complaining, but I'm trying to be very, very proper about how I handle these people. I'm going to go to these canceling meetings that they keep canceling. They know I'm not, they know I'm not coming up there to play with them when I speak. So, don't give me the mic when I come up there. And, like I said, don't cancel that June 10th. That June 10th is very important. It's also a great I never. That's the day I got graduated high school as well. That's been a little minute ago, but I thought that was cool. But it's a big day for me. I could finally see all these, degenerate whatever they call their stuff over there, Palm and Broward County. I could see their face when they tried my life about my child. So I'm happy about this day. Policy 1000. Remember it. Do your research. I don't even know. All I know it had to do with what I had an issue with. That's all I know as a parent. So I ain't coming up there to hold my tongue, and I'm not playing with them. It's gonna be live and ain't gonna be virtual. But they canceled the virtual. All I was doing is collecting information. I'm going down to I think it was Plantation or Sunrise, whichever one, middle school. Is for the gifted. I know it's a lot of stuff over there that's to do with magnet. Unfortunately, the mother of my child, we don't speak on. I don't know if she's staying in Broward, moving today, or moving out of the state. I don't know. I don't really mind, long as I'm informed, long as I have the information, long as I'm, as my side is informed and prepared, because it ain't going down like it did before. That's all I know. And we're gonna get move on, because I won't sound like a complaining. But yeah, Juneteenth, we spoke on that. Like I said, they canceled this. I think it's funny. I don't know if they knew it's like glaringly. Like, I actually work in the school board. Like, I work in the school board. I have people that in my family work in the school board, not this county, but like, or that county. But it's like I have real ties to these. See, I can see, what I'm saying? I can see, I can hear, what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all doing? It's kind of blatantly like y'all looking like y'all scrambling and scrounging, and y'all clean it up. Stop. Move away. Find something to do. Cut it off. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. So I have it's like I'm laughing, but I'm like, it's very disappointing that y'all continue to think that I'm not gonna continue to speak on these things. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sell myself short on accomplishing y'all being basically like not winning this side. Y'all ain't winning it. Y'all ain't gonna win this battle. I got a whole 6 more years minimum, unless you graduate early, to even deal with y'all. And I wish I could afford private school, but they ain't doing no much better. But because you got to sell out, with these people that run these private schools, unless you pick a good one. It's some good charter schools. I was in Temple, but like I said, fortunately, how I wanted things to go in my career as a coach, it's not that I didn't have accomplishments. It's the monetarily. It's how they treat coaches in Florida. It's like they need us, but they don't want to pay us. And I've been talking about that all the time. So I don't mind. And, I chose this path, but I'm moving. I'm bumping my status up even more, and I'm gonna continue to grow. I'm gonna continue to eat and win. So that's how I look at it. Now, like I said, I spoke on Broward. We got something going on 12th. It's next week on Monday. Um, Definitely June 10th. I'm gonna be there. Probably a couple more virtuals. Hopefully, they don't cancel it. The Palm Beach, I don't know what they got going on. These people, I left and came back as worse. Like, who y'all trying to put in office? Who y'all putting over there? Like, y'all got a bunch of nobodies running around. Y'all try to end my career over here. So I'm looking at it like, look, I got all the resources I need far as me speaking on. I'm here. Like, I ain't gonna say the sheriff is not as bad as the police department, but it ain't that much better. Like, they all, I don't know what cahoots they got with these sellout. They probably got, little nieces and nephews running around, but put them in rehab, help them out. Don't be trying to attack the strong. We here to defend and protect. We ain't on that. So get your little sellout drug addict crew over here and move along and find something to do. We don't want y'all stealing no more funds, no more government funds on bullcrap. We don't want y'all partying with resourceful money that can be used to help the inner city. We don't want y'all around. I don't want you around. I don't know about everybody else. I don't want you in their minds. I don't even want you to think about them. I want you to delete them out your mind, and then same go with these uppity old people with they doctors and master degree. Fine, go stem cell, make your kids slow. Don't make them retards. Don't mind, don't we ain't doing the SLDESE no more over here. And it ain't never been a strong, ain't nothing weak over here on this side. So you gotta leave my family alone all the way out of that. That's over with. We ain't going back down that path. So, figure it out. Nobody playing around with y'all this time. Definitely, the way I see it, I can't I can't really describe how it is in the. It's not bad what I'm saying, but like, let's just say this. I got double duty on my family. So it's not bad. We all, getting on page, on track, but I'm not really like, I don't really like hanging with nobody. So, I'm at this point where, it's I can't really describe it. I'm really at peace with how it's gonna go, whether y'all like it or they like it or who like it. I'm very my way, and I could take criticism and suggestions as good as anybody. I've never been that type of person. So if somebody come at me with intelligence, unfortunately, the people I thought that were intelligent, they actually might have picked the wrong side. I don't really care. I'm not like I reiterate this. I'm not selling out for no money and not cutting no family member off for nobody. So and even if they pick the wrong side, they could always come back over my way. I'm as free and as open minded as I always been since I've been young, and I always spoke like this. So it don't matter. It's not going. It is what it is. And let's continue. Yeah, like I was speaking on, you're not gonna be practicing witchcraft on my daughter or anyone in my family, and that's how we're gonna leave it at that. Now, look, okay. Now in Broward, I figured out, this is big old. Okay, I worked in summer camps for about a good. Let me see. I did it for a good 4 years straight. Not the football stuff I was doing. This is in the summer before fall season started. This is when I was just working. I'm talking about do an odd job, get some cash, work, do the summer camp, go to football practice. This is me just straight going in. I ain't even resting. I'm talking about before, when I was even younger, I go hang out with my friends still and work late overnight. So I'm getting 4 hours. And I'm at it. So, I ain't never been lazy or weak, and like I'm just looking at it like that from that standpoint. But once I started okay, I worked at the summer camp, and these people have all, I ain't trying to single out. I ain't even gonna mention the group how what they know. Whoever think they got the judges and they lawyers and whatever that little group tribe or whatever they think they is over here in Florida from on the East Coast. I ain't gonna dish you, bro. I ain't gonna put a pin directly on you, but you know what pin I'm talking about, and I'm letting you know. They, I don't have every, I'm just. It might be a little sound real speculation or whatever it may be, but you're not gonna be disrespecting and yelling over the intercom about people that I respect, like my grandfather. I know about all this spiritual warfare, him being a real high ranking soldier. You're not gonna smear his face. I don't even want you or thinking about being associated with him. So him still alive, still well. My mom's father, unfortunately, he ascended, and like I said, both of them have been targeted by white supremacists and good old boy clubs, and I don't like neither one of y'all. I don't like nobody in them groups. They shouldn't have disrespected my family or the people I'm tied to. So I don't like you. I don't want nothing good for you. Don't associate yourself with me. And I'm gonna repeat this every time, whether it's in the flesh, in the spirit, over there, over here, over there, around the corner. I don't care about you. So just leave it at that. I'm staying over here on my side. Y'all stay over there and be broken poor in the future. Cause we come with the ideas and myths like this is you see melanated people all over the TV screen. You don't see yo drug addict. That's all y'all can portray. Selling out, doing drugs, doing this evil, doing that evil. We didn't, it's 2025. The truth has been told so many times of what you want. Like, I don't want to be associated. I'll watch, I get information, but your story been told. So, mind yours and stay over there. Cause we like we said, when we went in the 1700s and the 1500s, from that point when they was making agreements with these natives that I'm tied to from South Carolina, Alabama, Florida, North Dakota, South, wherever my people at, y'all done did all this destructive stuff and put all this drug and destructive activity in our camps. I don't want that no more. I'm taking from anybody that's still in that's in line with me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care. I'm still gonna coach sports. I'm still gonna speak like this. I've been doing it for so long. I don't care. You can't do nothing that you already did. As long as you don't get no bullets, I'm cool. I don't got nothing. I was the archery coach in summer camp, so I still shoot an arrow at you. So I ain't tripping, not no poison, just practicing on the targets, that's all I'm gonna say. So I'm just out here, I'm like, I did not lose my spirit. I still like, I don't speak as much in public unless I'm spoken to. And if you talk to me weirdo and sideways or throw up your stupid shines, and I'm not with you. So put your hands down. You're not my grandfather. You're not that guy. You're not that one. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happening. There's just not no. It's just like you can't be you. You're not tied in with me. So keep it over there. And this is coming from Ira Thomas Bush the fourth, and I'm gonna step on you about Ira Thomas Bush. So mind yours. That's all it gotta be. So, and I'm definitely know I get to have a strong relationship. I have a strong enough relationship with my grandfather, and I did not get to have a strong relationship with my mom's grandfather because he had to protect my mom because how the government went against both of them. So it is what it is. It's already history. You already talk about it behind our back. I'm gonna just speak it on how it is. As long as you keep trying it, and I'm gonna keep stumping on you. And you already tried my mom too many times, so you better find something to do. Because I have not went against you. I have not attacked nobody. I don't prey on nobody. P-R-E-Y. I don't do that. So don't find something to do. You get what I'm trying to say? That's all I can tell you. And you definitely know you ain't stronger than me because you can't come around me. So all that voodoo with your little jug, crackhead little friends, find something to do. As simple as that. I don't care what country you travel to pray to whatever devil, demonic person you do. I do not care. You're not stronger than mine. You're not stronger than my ancestors. You're not stronger than nothing that I got going on. And you definitely ain't stronger than the children I got. So I ain't worried about you. Simple as that. Now, moving along. We will be in the building, like I said, on the 12th. We will be in the building June 10th. I will try my best to get down to that Palm Beach County School Board for my niece and nephews. And, next week, like I said, it's heavy, I'm going to call it like I see it. I ain't heard nothing from my governor or senator in Florida, so they still hiding under a rock. So we're going to try to dig some research. I have family in all these areas, so I'm going to check on these mayors in Clearwater, St. Petersburg, Pompano Beach, Dade City, Zephyr Hill, Spring Hill, Lake Worth, and West Palm Beach. I will do my research. I will check on who they is. I will put their name out on the intercom, and I will let y'all know if they doing their job. They might be, they might not be. They ain't been talking enough. They ain't been speaking enough. I don't know what their job is as mayors, but some of them probably drug addicts and weirdos. So we're going to start catching them out and getting them out of there. And make sure they get they soldiers on the ground because we can hire somebody else to do it. So let's continue. And also like I just want to. The reason why I said I want to find people like I had did the voices. I didn't do it, but I did the clips, and I was in the representative and Democrat representative Al Green and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. I did. I just gave you the energy that I'm on, like checking these people and hire. They're in the hire. They right there, like in front of them. So I'm not there as a congresswoman or a representative, but I'm as a coach, as a father. I could talk to these so-called mayors where I haven't seen they ghosts. They not around. Where are they? They not hiring people who have safe driver or no felonies like me. So what are y'all actually doing? I can't get a job to save my life. In the city or in the school board because they got these weirdos. They want to help their drug addict get a redo, and they got too many redos. We in our 30s. You ain't getting it done. You get up out of there. Find something to do. Get them up out of there. Put some people in that can do it. So yeah, I ain't gonna really go too far into it. Y'all got it. Just this is the weekend. I'll let you know what it is, what it's gonna be next week. We're gonna talk about some of them executive orders probably and crack their head a little bit more because they still ain't doing their job. They want to, like they did, like Al Green, they try to be a dictator and all that. We ain't going for it. We like I said, I know I understand too much. I said enough today, and we're gonna keep it moving. Now into sports, like I said, they go hand in hand. Hopefully, these guys that got kicked out, they start, putting some of their money towards something that's really powerful. And I'm putting a message out there. I'm challenging y'all. The school stuff didn't work. Y'all still, that was a little, they might still have it up, but they make sure they actually spreading it out, speaking this and consistently talking about it. Just don't put these kids up here and then I'm minding mines and however they going about it, whatever they doing. I ain't dissing nobody who take care of their own family. This is definitely not what I'm doing. This is something I do not do. I'm just letting you know, once you put your hand in, or you put your feet in, or you put your, you try to branch off, make sure you stay branching. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look. Like I said, my favorite athlete of all time is Kobe, and I love what he did. Because, like, this man, to me, is the best. I pick him over. I was in the Kobe era, not the Jordan era. So I picked Kobe over Jordan. But they definitely both were my starting five. I don't care what nobody say. I gave my starting five before, and I did that on my own radio show at school. So they both on my team. So, so I ain't dissing Jordan at all. But Kobe, my favorite athlete. And people forget this man got like kids book. I'm gonna be honest. I'm more like I haven't got to his level. Once I start making my books, I'm gonna read his books. My child love. She actually enjoys books. She likes certain books, but they don't sell his books everywhere. They don't put them in libraries. It's very disrespectful how the reason why. I got so much conspiracy on what happened with that situation. I don't even want to go there. But he lost a child, and he ascended. Both of them ascended. He had other children, so I'm just happy. He still has stuff that left behind, and they were female, so he can, he'll be here. His spirit will live on greatly and strongly. So, and like I said, the person who was playing basketball, who was definitely slated to go to the WNBA, unfortunately, she ascended the same as her, and hopefully, like I said, I'm that's the only I can't say, I have people that I grew up with, it's very few people that I could say I looked up to, and he one of them. I got a couple people that I really rock with that was older than me when I was younger, that knocked on my door and toted me to the courts and made sure I was protected. So I really appreciate those type of people. It wasn't nothing like the older you get, the more you know. So we still live in the real world. I wasn't I ain't never been. I always had the competitive spirit. So it is, I look at it like this. It's all about, putting yourself in opportunities and getting doing the right thing about certain things. So yeah. Now, okay, I was gonna do the draft. I missed the whole conference. Sorry to the Rams, the Cardinals, who else I missed? The whole NFC West. The Rams, the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Chargers and the Jets. I didn't get to y'all, but I just know, they already signed the free agents. They already signed the draft. They did rookie minicamp this week. I'm just gonna move on from the draft. I did a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. I got other stuff on my mind, so I really ain't even. I'm into it, but I'm already in it. Yeah, if that makes sense to you, I'm already in that realm as far as football. I've been around it my whole life. Like I said, the Soldiers is not that far removed from an NFL player. I already know how that go hand in hand. That's how I was raised. That's what I was taught. That's what I do know. They always doing this fire, whatever salute they trying to be doing. And when I was over there in Temple, I don't want to say so much. I cannot. I don't want to. I can't. But my mom taught me as a child, you can't go against the country you stay in. And I don't want to sound like I'm going against y'all. I just want to let y'all know you need to make sure you treating the people the correct way. You got the right people in the right position. Please understand that is the main thing. Do not have these people mess up y'all country because of skin color, because you might owe somebody from 1970s. I don't want to hear none of that. Let's get the right people in the right position. Stop going against people who ain't stun you too. That's the main problem. Is people getting attacked just for fun, just for kicks and shits and giggles. Nobody got time for that. I don't got time for it. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I get spiritually attacked every day just being in this area. People selling out over this to get to this country, and they got so much craziness going on. I ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm talking about nothing, and then I'm mad because it's made me separate from my family. And I'm just speak how it is. Just speak how it's gonna go. I could have been doing stuff like this. I was on the field at 18. I was on the field in high school. I was not paying attention. You know, I've been talking like this. If you ever been around me, I speak very highly, and I'm not playing with nobody no more. I'm mature enough to handle it. So, you know, let's keep moving. Football, you know, shout out to the guys get signed. You know, you being able to afford your own place to stay. You're not yes sir and your coaches, and you know, far as like checking in and making sure you know you can live freely as an adult. You don't got no more college rules, and you're adult. You're full adult. Take care of your finances. You know, don't spend all your money. But remember, you know, your mother, and you know, you might have a couple sisters or siblings. You know, balance yourself. Don't go overdo it. You know, you still gotta save for the future and build on your wealth. And you mean on your you know what you have gotten, and you know, just remember those small little things. All right, and you know, we're gonna break down, you know, once mini camp and all that stuff get situated and the summer begin, and you know, we're gonna still tune on, you know, football. They got the spring league. I haven't really paid attention to it. I haven't really been in tune with it, but I am a fan of it. They did renew for next year, I think, in 2026. So hopefully next year I have way more establishment. I could actually go to a couple of these games. I could actually report on some of these games. I wish that they did a better job of, now I won't say like sponsor. I like the fact that it was Army last year, but you know they sponsored by Under Armour. This year I don't think they did a good job of like putting on, you know, promoting it. I don't know what the energy is behind that, but they didn't do a good job. It felt real dry. It felt like they didn't put the best product as they did. You know, certain aspects was better last year. I don't know what it was, but it was a little bit better. And I don't feel the joy in the football like it was last year. You know, so hopefully they get back to it on that aspect as far as professional football. Okay, in America. All right, and now, and you know, I ain't against soccer. I ain't against baseball. I ain't against hockey. I have to really put some energy into it. I'm only one person. I really have to make sure I'm focusing on the energy of the children, of the youth, of the people I've already invested in. So, you know, when it comes to this stuff, it's easy to report on football, you know, professional football and NBA and all that good stuff. So this is not second nature. So, you know, that is important. What I was talking about earlier. This is a little bit entertainment, and we're gonna leave it at that. Now, with the NBA, last night, Cleveland still, you know, they're still down 2-1 versus the Pacers, but they actually came up with the win. And you know, my opinion of the series is crazy because Cleveland, I think they might have figured out, you know, Donovan Mitchell had a big game. But they know, to me, their strongest point is defensively. The only weakness is probably him on the wing. He's not bad, but you know, everybody, it's a lot of other players that play better defense, other players. He play the lanes well. He not okay, he a superstar. I can't diss him on defense. You know, I think they're the guy that came, you know, he was still limping. With Darius Garland, I think he played last night, so he came back, but he was at the end he was limping. He might miss a game just from, you know, how that go, wear and tear. Hopefully he recovers. I think they got 3 days before the next game, so hopefully two games, 2 days in the game. However it goes, you know, Cleveland's still down 2-1. The Pacers, it's an evenly matched team. They evenly matched. They got the same type of players. I think they got to come out. You know, their superstar didn't have a big game last night. And you know, it's all about the adjustments in the playoffs, man. These people could beat you any night. They could beat each other any night. It's very balanced with the teams that are left. So it's like I said, it's any given night you could lose, you could win. So, but my opinion on the next game, I think Cleveland probably gonna pull it out. They are the number one seed. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not no expert. I just enjoy the game. I love the sports. I do know the game enough to say I could speak on it though. So don't try me. I ain't might not be right on the predicting the win and loss, but I could predict on what's the keys of the game over, you know, all day. Now for the also last night Denver won, so now they up 2-1 versus OKC, which I actually, you know, spoke on. I think that's a very veteran team. They haven't gotten over the hump. Did they? I think they won. Did they win one? Yeah, they won one a few years ago. I won 3 years ago. Okay, so but you know, Jokic is still a very high ranking player in the league. Definitely top 10. Most people think he's top 5. Um, he's, how big man can, when they hit they win their championship, they got a lot of people coming at them on the court, off the court, energy wise. Hopefully he could maintain that supremacy as the number one big and being that leader. He's still in the playoffs. He's up 2-1, gets the number one seed. So he's doing his job right now. So, and they at home. They was the seed that, they have the advantage to go 3-1 if they execute and they go out there and win against the number one ranked seed in the West, which is still a pretty young team, but they got to figure out how to be more. I was watching the game in the first half, and like Shea, SGA really was like very patient. I like the way he was patient, but his teammates have to make sure they're hitting their open shots, that he's giving them opportunities to create. He's creating these opportunities for them to get open shots. He has to make his mid-range jumpers. I see like a lot of this stuff for him is like with his mid-range shot, he's a little bit off. I don't think it's injury. I think it's just like fatigue. So, he got to be a little bit more up and down, stop leaning back. If he watches, just get back to watching a little bit of his film or the games or stuff he missed, and like just make sure he's on point. Same with the guy, I think it's Williams. He was shooting his threes. He was releasing early. It's a little small stuff that he was a little off. And you know how you around hundreds of thousands of people watching y'all every night, millions of people really. So, watch the little hexing and the talking in your ear. Don't listen to everything. Get your mind right. And that's all I can say for they got a talented team. So, they won a lot of games this year. I thought they was gonna win the game. I only watched the first half, went home and went to sleep. But it was a late game. I think it started 10:30. I went and watched the game, and then I was like, I'm finna go home. It's like 11:30. I'm walking back down the street from back to the house. And but I think they go probably pull it out in Denver, like I said. And then Denver actually was being, they brought Russ in, and he was a punch that they needed to win. They didn't win they won by a good amount, and it was a home. So make sure the coach not forgetting that he has a former. I don't know how many people averaged a triple double besides him, and I think Oscar Robertson did it. And he's still a former MVP. I know he's got the energy to beat OKC because the way he left there, and he's motivated to get to win him a championship. So I think did he win? He might have won one already. I can't remember because he went to Denver. He was in Lakers. I like Russ, so hopefully if he didn't win another one, I can't remember. I respect players, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I remember every little thing in detail. Like I said, like I got a lot of other stuff I need to focus on and worry about. So that's all it is, and that's pretty much today at 3:30. The Knicks. That's it for them today at 3:30. The Knicks versus the Knicks are playing. The Knicks pick on the Celtics. They up 2-0. They're at home. That home crowd. I think this is like they was up. Like I said, Celtics was up 20 points, and when they was at home, they allowed them to come back and win every time. All I can say with the type of team the Knicks have, I know. Start off physical. Don't allow them to get in their spots. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to me are still very young. I don't even think them boys young. They might be finna get 30, but they still young, and they still gotta. Both of them are not very voice. They don't really. They might talk in the locker room now, but they're not talking on the court. So they lack that. They don't have that. That's not their strength on the court, is speaking and communicating. So when you play physical against Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown do a little bit better job of handling the pressure of being with physical. He's more of a 3. Jason Tatum more as a 2 guard, and just put them in pick and roll action with your bigs. Just be very physical. I feel like they could take this game 3 because I think Karl Anthony Towns is a very talented player. If today is your day to stamp yourself as a big man in the superior of the big mans, with the Shaqs, the Dwight Howard, these guys had to turn a page to get to the championship. So this your day to like, I ain't accepting nothing. I don't care. Nobody should be able to guard him today. Today is the game to take the rings, and I don't want to see you shooting 10 threes today. I want to see you being aggressive and being a physical and being a defender that you was taught in college and throughout your career. And I know Coach Thibodeau not playing about defense. So this is the day. Like, and to be honest, they have more superior coach in the Knicks. So you can't come out here laughing and kikiing and ha and yeah, go out there and play. So that's what I want to see from him. And I love the way Mikal Bridges is playing. Brunson, he's giving me 30, 40 points. He don't need to jack up too much. He can shoot his threes, but make sure he's also getting involved with his bigs and the wing defenders that come in off the bench. Make sure y'all keeping the same type of energy. And anybody coming off the bench, make sure you need to start on defense. And you need to make sure this ain't gonna be no easy game. This is the defending champs. Most experts are picking the Celtics to win on your home court today. I don't care what people they picking the Celtics. There ain't nothing wrong with them. I don't know about no major injuries from neither one of these superstars or the bench players. They got Kristaps Porzingis over there as well. Like I said, if he come out here and drop 40 on you, Karl Anthony Towns, you might as well stay a second or third tier star and get your little 30, 40 million and sit in the back seat and whatever you think he is. That's all I can say. This is your time. Anthony Davis had to prove he did. He went and did his thing. He got his championship. Now you got to go out here and do it. Y'all came out at the same time. I want to see you step up and get the 3-0 lead. That's what I want to see. I ain't got no real quarrels or no tie. You know how I go out. Celtics in Boston, like whoever wins, they win. I like both teams. I respect a lot of players on both teams. So it's like it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. And that's pretty much it. Now, for the Knicks and the Celtics. Now at 8:30, the Timberwolves play the Warriors. Unfortunately, Steph Curry is injured. He's out for the game. From my understanding, I don't know if he's gonna do something miraculous and come back. They said he out for at least a week. I know the competitive spirit in him. He might try to come play. Probably talking to the coach right now. He probably on the trainer's table trying to figure it out. He played that long in the league, so you might see him come out and do some Houdini, drop 30 on one leg, and they still be in the protect they I think are the it's a 1-1 series, so it's 1-1. This is to see who's gonna take the league in the series. Is it 1-1 or 2-1? This is game. Well, whatever it may be, but hopefully he come back, next week and they still in the fight for the 67 game. If he don't, I think I just think the Timberwolves have a better team. The way McDaniels has been playing on defense, that's the guy to me. That's like the Nasri could be the same way on the offensive side, and if McDaniels plays offense. If his offense is like he dropped 16 last night, if he stays in that 16 and 25 range, he probably need to kind of take advantage and still play that tenacious defense. Cause like you see what happened, you put them guys in pick and roll, they got to do a lot of running. He'll strain his muscle. Same with Draymond getting older. That's how I put pressure on these players like that. Like it ain't no harm and foul because it's part of the game. So. They didn't make him get injured. He just had to spend a lot of energy, and boom, that's what happened. You ran tank, right? Gas done ran out your tank, kind of. So that's all it is. It's a 7-game series, and that's how I look at it. Anthony Edwards got to step up, be a leader, make sure he's not speaking too far in the future and be in the now, and get his troops ready to go out here and dominate. They have the better roster. They have the younger roster overall, especially that Steph is out. It was pretty evenly, like with the younger and just them being older. The advantage was to still kind of Minnesota, kind of because of the young youth that they have. But it is what it is. That's pretty much it, man. Like I said, shout out to my one viewer per day. They don't stay on, they don't come on, but I do sometimes get a lot of people. The one person that watches my show. This is actually a very powerful show. Still on Saturday, I said what I had to say. I didn't give I gave you some sports details, but I was just telling you what it is in my community, which is what I'm here to speak on. And I ain't really got nothing to sugarcoat with Palm Beach or Broward. I ain't even going down there in day yet, but that ain't really. I got a niece that stays down there, so I might need to go down there and check on their school board because I ain't really playing about nobody really, and I gotta kind of handle these two Palm Beach and Broward. They kind of trying to work. I don't know what kind of work I got some real teachers that love me from elementary, and I know they ain't helping me, but I know they gonna mention me properly. And it ain't, and it could be white and it could be black. So I did a great job in K through when I was K through 5. I didn't get in trouble a lot. I spoke my mind all the time too. So they know what it is, and I'm shout out to them because I know how I go. They older, and they might be retired. They might have time. They really lucky that I didn't. We like fifth grade. I had this book, and we didn't have cell phones yet. We had cell phones, but I didn't have a cell phone, and it was everybody number in it. Their mom. It might still. I wish I kept my book. It was so funny. It was kind of neat. But we made our own yearbook basically for our class, and it was pretty dope. And I wanted to go around the whole school, but I was like, what people try to make you seem like something like bad or wrong. I just spoke my mind. I just was very competitive, so everybody made it seem like it was a big deal, but it wasn't. And I was still very nice to people, so especially the females. I didn't treat no female in my school improperly. Except one incident, and I got in trouble for it, and they act like the rail was over. So hey, my bad. I learned my lesson then. I ain't looked back since. But man, thank y'all for listening. I appreciate everybody, and that's pretty much it, man. I'll be back probably Monday or Tuesday with another show. I'm trying to be. I got a lot going on, like our child's birthday. I'm definitely not gonna be doing the show Wednesday. And I'll be definitely, next week I got some stuff going on. I gotta go to that meeting down there for the gifted. I'm gonna be there that evening down in Broward. So, I'll speak on it tomorrow on Monday. And definitely I'm gonna do a little bit more research on a couple of mayors. I'm gonna start with where I'm at. I'm gonna start with Broward. I'm gonna start with St. Pete and West Palm. So I'm gonna look into whoever the mayors is. Riviera Beach too. I forgot to mention them because I got a couple youngsters I won a championship with in rec league. They still out there in Riviera Beach. And I want my the players that's still on the court and on the field that I respect what they do as athletes. So it got to be intertwined. The people that started with me when I was younger, they understand the play. What's going what my goals is for real for them. It ain't everybody don't make the NFL, but you still gotta be a productive citizen. So you can't just go out here messing up your life if you don't work out how you want it, and you still got time. If you gotta look at the age that you at, you still don't have time to progress. So that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all tune in. We're gonna keep dropping on people, and we're gonna keep going in on the people that's disrespectful to the real people in this society, in the world, and in whatever they calling it at this point. Thank y'all for listening. Appreciate you. This is Dynasty the Podcast Show, and I'm your host, Ira Bush.